that we need to get access to. Now, we have been, and particularly with this court, we have reached out. We're trying to get access to the actual note. Obviously, it very much appears that this was a suicide note. We have not authenticated it ourselves. We want to actually have the note physically. But as you've seen, and the New York Times has reported, everything matches up here, including the handwriting, including some of the circumstances, and certainly those involved in how this note actually got into the possession of the court and is now being essentially made public for us and for the entire country. What's also really important is in about a week, we will have the prison guard, actually the last person to see Jeffrey Epstein alive, in front of the committee. And so rest assured, some of these questions are going to be asked then. And we're also working and reaching out to the court as well to get this and any other information that the courts might have. The reality is, Chris, there's a lot of information about this Epstein investigation that we still do not have.
And I want to ask you in a bit about some of those forthcoming interviews, but in this ongoing effort that you guys have been doing to get the full story, yesterday your colleagues emerged from a closed-door meeting with the Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, very upset about what they'd heard, or in some cases didn't hear. Here's an example.
He was clearly being dishonest. He was clearly being evasive. And finally, he doesn't remember why he went to Jeffrey Epstein's island, which is also mind-boggling. This is absolutely absurd, and he should resign.
After what we have seen so far in this transcribed interview, I feel very comfortable saying that Howard Lutnick is a pathological liar who is enabling the most egregious cover-up in American history.
Someone obviously got to him from the administration. In fact, he said he talked to people in the administration, and that's why he's changed his tune.
Now, I should say Republicans disagree with those assessments, and Lutnick is not accused of any involvement in Epstein's wrongdoing. But if you bring people in and you don't believe you're getting the truth, what's your recourse?
Look, first, it's not just the members that were there representing our committee that felt that way. It was also the investigators and the lawyers in the room. I spoke to the entire team yesterday. And just unanimously, there was a sense that Howard Lutnick was just not being truthful, not just on that issue, but on others. And look, you can't go out in 2005 and say you had absolutely no more contact with Jeffrey Epstein. In fact, you were disgusted by him. And then only later, through the Epstein files, do you then learn that he went to the island, that he actually met with Epstein additional times, that he actually went into business possibly with Jeffrey Epstein. And so he was just not credible. He lied directly to the American public. And in his interview yesterday, he continued to not have an answer for why he actually decided to make those lies. If you are a secretary of the United States and you represent our government and you are lying directly to the American public, you should no longer serve in that position. He lied.
So what did he say? Can I ask you, did he say, I forgot?
Look, and here's part of the issue. The transcript of exactly what he said, we're demanding that Republicans release immediately. It's up to Republicans, because they're in the majority, to also record and videotape these interviews. They chose to not video record the interview yesterday, which we feel is outrageous. We're demanding that immediately they release at least the transcript of what he actually said. And the American public will see very clearly that he had very little answers. He lied. He clearly lied to the American public. He is not credible. The fact that he won't tell us more about this relationship, and in some moments in that interview, I think that the public is going to find very disturbing.
Well, let me ask you about former Attorney General Pam Bondi, because she's set to testify at the end of the month, and you're calling for her testimony to be filmed and released to the public. Do you think there's any chance that actually happens?
I cannot believe that James Comer has yet to agree to the Pam Bondi deposition being actually videotaped and released to the American public. I mean, give me a break. This was the AG who was at the center of this White House cover-up, the person that herself said the Epstein files were on her desk, that led the Epstein investigation at the DOJ. And it is, again, up to the majority. It's up to James Comer to decide if this is going to be a videotaped interview or deposition. And we have demanded that it be videotaped and immediately released to the American public. Look, in fact, we would be fine with the press being there. I mean, we want there to be transparency. And so it is important that Comer, before this interview, agrees that the Pam Bondi interview will be videotaped and released to the American public.
Congressman Robert Garcia, I'm hoping we'll talk then, but thank you so much. We always appreciate you coming on the show.